Here we have the sale of buyer's property contingency rider to be attached to an offer on the Florida purchase contract. This probably is the one thing you can do to weaken your offer the most. But if it is absolutely necessary, you do it. Depending on the condition of the market, you can still get this through sometimes. In a very heated market, very seldom will this work, but in a buyer's market, it definitely does. So what it does is it states that the buyer can get out of the sale of the property contract if they don't sell their property, their own property, to make the move. So on the top, you have the sellers and buyers and the address. And the buyers are going to initial it first because it's going to be going in with their offer. And it states that the contract and the offer is contingent on the sale and closing of the buyer's property, and then you put in the address of their property. Upon entering into a contract for the sale of buyer's property, buyer shall give the seller a copy of such contract with the third party's identification and purchase price information obliterated. It wouldn't be fair to share that information for security purposes. If the sale of the buyer's property does not close by, and then you put a date, and you have to put a lot of thought into this date. And this date is going to depend on the last paragraph. Is the buyer's property presently under contract for sale or not? If it's under contract and you ran out to put in offers to buy the place they're going to move to, you can put a shorter date knowing the closing date of the property that they currently own under contract. If it's not under contract, it does make this even weaker, and then you need to put a longer date, maybe 2.5 months ahead. Again, it weakens the offer greatly. And if this doesn't occur, if they don't have their property under contract and closed by this date, the buyer can send a notice of release and get their uh, earnest money deposit back and release everybody's obligation in the contract. So again, if you need to use it, it's there. If the mortgage company tells you the only way they can buy said property that you're placing an offer on is if they sell their current property, well, then you need to place this with your offer.